ART over here because I have a little bit more space on this examples. All right, so my A is my initial value, which is 4,500. Okay, my rate is 6.6%, which comes out to be 0.066, right? And then my time is what? Days, okay? If I'm looking at it, yep, it's actually days. So it is going to be in days. All right, so now you write your initial formula. And so remember, this is y equals A, and then it's going to be 1 minus RT. So knowing that, you would have y equals 4,500, and then it's going to be 1 minus 0.066 to the t. And the reason I want you guys to simplify it one more time is so that you get used to seeing the decimal. Did it again. You get used to seeing this as a number lower than 1, which in this case, if you put it in a calculator, would be 0.934 to the t. All right, so there's my formula. Understand, if you see something like this, you guys need to say, okay, I'm going from 1 to this. How would I get there? You would subtract. And when you subtract it, you should get a rate of 0.066, which you would turn into 6.6. You guys need to make sure you can work backwards on this too. If I say, what is the rate? You need to be able to take the rate of this, subtract this from, or be 1 minus this to get 0.066, and then you need to know to take this and convert it into a rate. All right, hope that makes sense. But you guys need to be able to do everything, including going backwards, going from here to here to here. Okay, make sure you guys can do all of that. If you cannot, on the homework you will know you can't, because it's going to ask you for the rate of something and you won't know what it is. You got to work backwards, work from 1 and down. All right, so now we know our equation is going to be y equals 4,500, and then we have our 0.934, and it's after 7 days. You just put that simply in a calculator, ladies and gentlemen, and you get y is approximately 2790 cubic inches. During an economic recession, charitable organizations. Okay, I'm not reading these word problems to you guys. If you want to read them, you can. So I got my ART, so I'm going to go, whoops, sometimes when my board goes crazy. I'm going to go ART if I can get it to stop being crazy. Nope, it's not. So let's see if I can do it over here. I'm not sure why it keeps doing that. If I have to do this by hand, okay, good, finally. I guess 5th time's the charm. All right, ART. So when you're doing the A, ladies and gentlemen, my initial rate is $39,000. Okay, if you want to put the dollar sign, you can. My rate is 1.1%, which you convert to 0.011. Okay, because decimal goes over twice, and time is in years. Okay, and so what you guys got to do now is plug it in, right? So we know it is y equals my initial rate. Look at the decay formula, because it says in here, if it's dropped, if you ask me, how do I know this is growth or decay? If you see the words dropped, reduced, you know that's decay. If you see the words increased, growth, that would be, of course, growth, okay? Now this is going to be 1 minus my rate, which is 0.011 to the t, and then, of course, I'd want you to rewrite it, combine those together to be y equals 39000, and one more, and then it's going to be, I have it already done, use a calculator if you have to figure it out. It'd be 0.989 to the t. All right, so there's my setup. Now it asks after 5 years. So you would just go into a calculator, plug this in, and if it's after 5 years, you put the number 5 here, and you guys will get y is approximately 369,016.74 cents. I'm pretty sure Alex would want you to round to the cent. All right, understand this process, guys. It's one of those things where if you can identify what your rate is, do your simple analogy, and figure out the end, you guys will do great. Try this one on your own. All right, population of Campbell County, Kentucky has been decreased. Okay, so same thing. All right, my ART. All right, my A value is going to be 88,647. Their rate is 0.3%. And remember, when you do that, you're moving the decimal over 2. So this is going to be 0.003. And then my time is years. Okay, so my formula is going to be y equals 88,647, 1 minus 0.003 to the t. And I can do that in my head where it's 88,647. If I subtract that, I know I'd get 0.997 to the power of t. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you go ahead and you plug it in. And if it's predicted to be in 2020, if a model was in 2010, you subtract that, you'd have 10 years. So that would be your t value. So you change this to, you basically have it where it's, put this in the calculator to the 10th, and you would get y is approximately 86,023 people. So in 10 years, ladies and gentlemen, they will lose about 2,000 people, 2,600. That's a good model. There's some that have all the time where they try to do this. There are people that actually do this for a living, where they make models and try to see if they can predict what populations will be, what growth will be. So that way we can do future taxes. Like when Queen Creek started growing, there was an exponential growth. Santan Valley, same thing around here. All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, this is our last thing for today. I know this is a long video, so if you have to skip through to find the pieces, I hope you did. All right, compound interest. We are looking for the principal on this and our rate and our n. So we're looking for PRN on here, okay? And understand that you guys are going to do the same thing we've been doing, which is on one of the margins, write it down. Now on the left-hand side, I'd make everybody write the PRN, but I'm going to do it on the right over here because I have more space, okay? On your notes, though, I would ask that you write it on the left-hand column. All right, so my P, if you're looking at this, the initial investment, that's what P stands for, is $14,000. This is all going to be about money. Rate is 6%, 6% or 0.06. And then my N stands for number of times something is compounded in a year, okay? So if it's doing it monthly, my N value, ladies and gentlemen, is how many months are in a year? 12. Okay. We will sometimes, if it's compounded annually, like there's one down here, it's 1, N is 1. But in this case, it's 12. All right, so our formula, let me write it down so I have it, is going to be A equals P, and then it is 1 plus R over N, and then it is N to the T power. Okay, now fill in what we know. We know the P, R, and N, so you fill it into this equation. Okay, so our A, we don't know. That's what we're shooting for. Our P is 14,000. And then we go 1 plus. And then what is our R? Our rate is 0.06. And N, in this case, is 12. And then on the outside, you do your N again, which is 12. And then T. So wherever you see a variable over there that's in this formula here, you replace it. Now let's simplify it down to 1 to make this one number, because we want an exponential form. Remember, it's y equals a b to the power of x. Here's our a. So it's 1,400. Use a calculator to put all this together, ladies and gentlemen, and it actually comes out to be 1.05, and then it would be 12t on the outside. Okay, so they want to know how much will be in the account after 10 years. So you take your initial formula. So this is why we put all this together. So if somebody says, all right, after 10 years, how much am I going to have? Well, ladies and gentlemen, it'd be 12 times 10, which would be 120. Put that in a calculator, and your amount would be approximately, and this is a big number, $4,884,767.80. That's a lot. Most things aren't compounded monthly, but if you can find something that does that, you make a lot of money really fast, and in reality as well. All right, now this is more like it. This could be something where actually some of you may experience this, where your grandparents give you a principal of $1,000 when you are first born, and then it's invested in a savings account where it's 7% or 0.07 is your rate, and the time is going to be in years. All right, so now use your formula. Remember, I have it up above. I'll write it again. It's A equals, it's A equals P, and then it's going to be 1 plus R over N, and then you have N to the T, and now you replace everything that has a P. I'm sorry, this is N. I should have done N, I forgot. It's PRN. And this time, since it's done manually, so I screwed this part up, it's going to be N equals 1. See, sometimes I mess up. So it's PRN, I forgot. So because this is done annually. So how do I know what 1 is? It's because it's annual, right? Forgot that part. All right, so now let's rewrite it. P equals, or it's A equals, this is going to be long. All right, A equals my rate, 1,000. Okay, and then it's going to be 1 plus my rate, which is 0.07 over N. In this case, N is 1, so it makes it easier. And then this would be T times 1, so I'm not going to, N times T, which is 1, so I'm not going to put a 1 up there. So now you can simplify it down. So you guys can see it'd be 1 plus 0.07. Okay, so here's our formula. And it would be the power of T. Now, they want to know when she turns 18. Well, if they did when she was first born, and it's when she's 18, you put 18 right there. So my A is approximately now $3,379.93, which isn't bad considering they did nothing except put $1,000 in a fixed savings account. And at 18, it was worth $3,379. In reality, that is $2,379 of money that they did nothing with. They didn't have to work hard to get it. They just put $1,000 in it, and compound interest works. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can become successful at even a young age. Last question. All right, guys, give me your PRN. PRN, okay? P is 300. All right, my rate is 3.5% or 0.035. My N is compounded monthly, so N would be 12. This is another one of those, if you could find something like this, this would be awesome to see, okay? So you put this in. You have your formula is A equals my initial rate of 300, and then it's 1 plus my rate, which is 0.035 over 12, okay? And then this is going to be 12 times T. Now as you do your setup here, understand when you put that into a calculator and you figure this out, this would be simplified down to A equals 300, and then the B value, or this value here, turns into 1.0029 to the power of 12t. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you plug this in. So down here, A equals 300. They want to know after 22 years. So you would have 1.0029, and then you would multiply it by 12 times 22 on the outside, You put this in your calculator, and A is approximately 644.37. Hopefully you guys did this on your own and that this calculation is correct. I think it is. That is it. Long lesson, longest one I'll ever have to teach. It's a lot of information, very long video. Hopefully you cut it twice. I didn't expect you to watch it all the way through in one shot. If you have any questions on these 4 topics, come see me. Okay, this is hard, but it's not. Once you understand what your values are, if you get the value system where you know what A and B is, and then you know what, when you did the growth decay, if you know what initial rate is for A, the R for the rate in time on both growth and decay, and then with compound interest, if you know what your principal, your rate, and your N, which is the number of times you compounded a year is, you will be successful. We are going to hit formulas like this from here on out. Make sure you guys can do this. I know you can. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys soon.